Hey guys, it's Pelli. Welcome back to What Happened to Them, the series all about celebrating the career of supermodels. Before we begin, I want to share a message since this episode contains a sensitive subject. 2020 was a very difficult year for many people, and even though we may not personally know each other or our circumstances, I want to offer my deepest and most sincere condolences to anyone who's watching this who has lost somebody. May they rest in peace. I really do hope you're having a great day. I wish nothing but the best for you and your family. Now, let's begin. Known for being one of the world's top supermodels and a highly successful businesswoman, Elle Macpherson was born March 29, 1964 in New South Wales, Australia. When she was 18 years old, Elle was discovered by a modeling scout while vacationing in the United States. After she graduated from high school, she attended Sydney University to study pre-law. During this time, she signed to the Click modeling agency and started modeling as a side hustle. 1 year later, Elle left school to fully pursue a modeling career. Standing at 6 foot tall with legs that seem to go on forever, Elle got her big break after landing a commercial gig for TAP in 1982. She gained a lot of attention from the commercial and quickly rose to fame thanks to her voluptuous figure. The supermodel walked the runway for prominent designers like Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein and was featured in every issue of Elle magazine for 6 years straight. The statuesque model became super famous for her Sport Illustrated swimsuit issue, graced the annual cover 3 years in a row, and getting dubbed the body by Time magazine. By the 90s, Elle had multiple lucrative contracts and was known all over the world. She founded her own company, produced her own series of calendars, launched a lingerie line, and created her own series of workout videos. She was also one of the supermodels who owned a fashion cafe restaurant, and she even dabbled in acting. In 1996, the New York Times cited Elle as one of the Magnificent Seven that included supermodels like Christy, Naomi, and Claudia. In 1998, Elle gave birth to her first child with French banker Arpad Bousson. The couple had a second child in 2003, but was never married and separated in 2005. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Elle continued her business ventures and did some live hosting work. In 2006, she appeared on the cover of Sport Illustrated and holds the record for the most covers of all time. In 2013, the supermodel married billionaire Jeffrey Sofer, but got divorced in 2017. She is currently dating British ex-physician Andrew Wakefield. So where is Elle Macpherson now? Well, this supermodel understands the business like no other. Since her debut, she hasn't stopped modeling. Just in 2021, Elle has done editorial for Elle magazine and graced the cover of Madame Germany. She is also the founder of Well, a plant-based nutritional beauty supplement. With a net worth of over $95 million, Elle Macpherson is one of the most successful supermodels of all time. Born on December 13, 1964 in Pennsylvania, United States, Kristen Mcmenamy is a supermodel known for her versatile androgynous appearance. Growing up, Kristen was bullied a lot for the way she looked, but she always knew she wanted to be a model. Her start in the modeling industry began after dropping out of college and moving to New York City. It wasn't easy for the aspiring model, getting rejected by several modeling agencies and even being told to consider getting plastic surgery. Even with all the negativity, Kristen did not let anything stop her. She was determined and kept pushing until she was signed to an agency. After getting signed, she traveled to Paris and started booking modeling jobs. She really got the industry attention when she started working for photographer Peter Lindbergh and Karl Lagerfeld. The supermodel ended up gracing the catwalk for many of the world's top fashion houses, such as Chloe and Jean Paul Gaultier. She also appeared on the cover and in the pages of top fashion magazines like ID and Vogue. When asked about her unexpected success, Kristen said, "Since I can't conform and look like the girl next door, I decided to go the opposite way and be a weirdo." With pale skin and striking features, the supermodel challenged beauty standards and helped define alternative beauty. One of her most iconic moments happened in 1992 when she cut her hair, dyed it black, and shaved off her eyebrow for Anna Sweet fall-winter fashion show. Her appearance in the show is credited for helping to popularize the grunge look. Because of her impact, she was named Model of the Year in January 1993. In 1994, Kristen gave birth to her first child and modeled for one of Versace's most memorable and iconic campaigns. Kristen went on to be featured on the cover of Vogue Italia's 30th anniversary issue alongside other supermodels and was in the Absolute Vodka fashion campaign. In the late 90s, the supermodel married British photographer Miles Aldridge and chose to step away from the industry for her family. After her break from the runway, Kristen continued to make appearances in fashion throughout the 2000s and 2010s. After 16 years of marriage, the supermodel got divorced but later remarried in 2016. Kristen's daughter, Lily, grew up to be a model just like her. So where is Kristen Mcmenamy now? The legendary supermodel was on the cover of ID and Self-Service magazine in 2020. She most recently joined Instagram and is featured in Purple magazine for the March 2021 issue. A force to be reckoned with, Kristen Mcmenamy brought her own uniqueness to the modeling world. She is truly unforgettable and one of a kind. Remembered for her iconic short hair and being one of the supermodels of the 90s, Nadège Du Bospertus was born March 16, 1968 in France. She is of Greek-French descent and was discovered on the streets of Paris by a photographer. The supermodel career took off in the late 80s after gracing the cover of a French woman magazine. Something that helped Nadège stood out from the other models was her ability to transform from a glamazon to the girl next door in an instant. During her reign as a supermodel, she became only known by her first name and was a muse to designers like Armani and Versace. Nadège was featured on the cover of Vogue, Elle, and Marie Claire. She worked with the most famous fashion photographers such as Steven Meisel, Bruce Weber, and Ritz. The supermodel was in countless fashion editorial and ad campaigns and walked the runway for major designers like Chanel, Kenzo, and Fendi. Besides modeling, she also made several guest appearances on French television. After getting married, like many of her fellow supermodels, she left the industry to start her own family. When asked about her decision to leave while at the top of her career, she said, "I never dreamed about being a model or an actress, but always wanted to be a mom, having kids and a family." The supermodel later settled down in Milan, Italy, with her husband and 3 children. She didn't completely leave the fashion world though, popping up in a show or two from time to time. In 2007, Nadège was a judge on Italia's Next Top Model for 3 seasons and made a return to the runway in 2009. So where's Nadège today? The supermodel is dedicated to her family and only works for special modeling gigs. Nadège's days as a supermodel was iconic and it deserves to be celebrated. She was not only a supermodel but a muse, and that is an honor not many are able to claim. One of the most legendary supermodels of all time, Stella Tennant was born December 7, 1970 in London, England. Growing up from an aristocratic background, she attended St. Leonard's School for Girls in Scotland before going to study sculpting at Winchester School of Art. Stella shot to fame happened by coincidence. Steven Meisel, who was one of the top photographers at the time, wanted non-models for his British Vogue shoot. Stella happened to have the right look at the right time, turning up to the photo shoot with a nose ring and an edgy look. Steven Meisel was so impressed with the model that he booked her for the cover of Italian Vogue shortly after. While at first reluctant about pursuing a career in fashion, Stella gave it a try and quickly saw immense success in the business. She was highly demanded for her unconventional androgynous sultriness. The supermodel went on to work with many prominent designers such as Alexander McQueen and Jean-Paul Gaultier. She became the face of Chanel and led it on the cover of ID and Vogue magazines. On the runway, Stella walked for Versace, Givenchy, and other top brands. She is credited for introducing an era of androgyny on the catwalk. In 1998, Stella announced her retirement from modeling after getting pregnant with her first child. She later got married to photographer David Lesnick and has 4 children together. Although she was focused on raising her family throughout the 2000s and 2010s, the British model appeared in numerous advertising campaigns, including Hermes and Burberry, stated in an interview that it's part-time, I don't have to work if I don't want to. In 2012, Stella, along with Naomi Campbell and Kate Moss, was a part of the London Olympic closing ceremony and was inducted into the Scottish Fashion Hall of Fame. During the mid-2010s, she made a huge comeback, walking for Saint Laurent and Alexander McQueen. After 21 years of marriage, Stella and David Lesnick separated in August 2020. Her last runway appearance was in early 2020 for Valentino Haute Couture Spring Show. On December 22, 2020, the supermodel passed away just a few weeks after turning 50. The cause of death was suicide. With over 20 years of success and achievements, Stella Tennant's legacy as a groundbreaking figure will live on in fashion. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember to keep living that fashion life. Bye!